that we have been following very closely as well. It involves this defendant, this young woman, and this this gentleman who was the victim here. So it's a very racially charged murder case in Clayton County. The defendant here is Hannah Payne, and she's accused of tracking down and killing a 69-year-old gentleman who had left the scene of an accident. It actually happened 4.5 years ago, but there was a very long delay in actually getting this case to trial. Payne, I guess, was 21 years old at the time of this 2019 incident. The victim here, 69-year-old Kenneth Herring, she allegedly demanded that he get out of the car. His family says that he was suffering from a diabetic episode at the time. He was trying to get to the hospital. There was a struggle, and according to Payne's attorney, she shot and killed Herring. Her attorney is claiming that it was an act of self-defense. Again, she had witnessed a wreck near the airport. She called 911. According to prosecutors, followed the pickup truck that left the scene and ignored the instructions of dispatchers who told her not to engage the driver. Again, very, very racially charged case. Did certainly stir up more racial tension in Clayton County. And, her family, Hannah Payne's family, says race had nothing to do with it. Her mother told reporters in 2019, quote, "She does not see color. She sees right and she sees wrong." So the delays here, originally because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and then in November of 2022 it was delayed after the defense attorney had a minor stroke, and then the case was later assigned to a different judge who further delayed the trial. So it's kind of been a long time coming that finally this family can pursue some justice. But Josh, what is your feeling on this case, and the fact that there is this kind of underlying racial current?
This is an incredibly difficult case, both for the state and the defense, because everyone can understand the good intentions of each individual when you take them one by one. If you talk about what Miss Payne saw, Miss Payne's going to tell a story where she witnessed a rather serious accident and then pursued the person who was involved, who then refused to stop, refused to be responsible, and then threatened her as she was trying to ensure that justice was going to be delivered. And then during that threat, she discharged her firearm because she was being attacked. And to many people, that is a straight up and down Good Samaritan self-defense case from a bad guy running away from a crime. And so there's a lot of people who don't even question for a moment Miss Payne's actions and decisions on that fateful day. However, at the exact same time, you've got the Kenner family, a 69-year-old man with multiple health conditions, was involved in an accident where he was suffering from a medical condition. He then left the scene of the accident, presumably to get treatment, as he was suffering a medical emergency while this was happening. And then while leaving the scene of the accident, he was chased by what appeared to him to be a vigilante who was potentially armed. And then when that vigilante tried to stop and arrest him or harm him, he reacted and then was murdered by the vigilante during that response. And both of those versions of the event are 100% believable as well as reasonable, hence why this is going to be such a difficult case, especially when we've injected the racial and age component of a 21-year-old white armed female and a 69-year-old unarmed African-American man suffering a medical event. And these medical events create a lot of confusion that we then see tied into a lot of our civil rights discussion right now, where how officers and other first responders interact with members of the public during a medical crisis, be it physical or a mental health crisis. How law enforcement responds to this, that's a tough question. It's really hard to balance self-preservation of first responders and the rights of people wandering around the universe about to get arrested.
Yeah, absolutely. Another trial that we are going to continue to follow very closely here on